What if I told you there was an SQL keyword that could make your life easier, but you should avoid it? In this video, I'll explain what this keyword is, how to use it, and why not to use it in your queries. So what is this mysterious keyword? It's a way to specify how an SQL join works. Let's say we have two tables, product and supplier. They each have an ID as the primary key and a name, and the product has a price. The product has a foreign key called supplier ID, which is related to the supplier ID in the supplier table. This is a simple version of a pretty standard one-to-many relationship in a database. We can write a select query to get data from both tables. We get a few columns, then write an inner join. We join on the foreign key and primary key, which is product.supplierID and supplier.supplierID. We can run this and see some products. So far so good. We've used an inner join here. But there's another keyword that makes this simpler. It's called the using keyword. It's part of the SQL standard and it allows you to simplify your join clause. The using keyword will let you write an inner join between two tables, but with much less code. Here's how to use it. We'll start with the same query as before, selecting the same columns. Then we add the from clause and the product table. Then we add inner join just like before. This is where it gets different. Instead of writing the on keyword and specifying the table and column names, we write the word using, then a pair of brackets. Inside the brackets we write supplier ID. This supplier ID is the column that is used to join on between the two tables. This column must exist in both tables and have the same name. It does the same thing as saying product.supplierID equals supplier.supplierID, but it's shorter to write. That's all we need to write. We can run this query and we get the same results. So the using keyword is like a shorthand way of joining tables together. But I said at the start of this video we should avoid it. Why would I say that? One reason is that it's not as flexible as a regular inner join. It's easier to write, sure, but it requires that the columns have the same names. If the column names are different, it won't work. You might be thinking that's okay. You can write using when the columns match and a regular join when they don't. Here's an example. Let's say that the supplier ID in the supplier table was instead called ID. This means the column name is different to the matching column in the product table. This is valid and still works with many SQL queries. However, if you use the using keyword, the query won't work. We'll get this error here which says column supplier ID specified in using clause does not exist in right table. This is on a Postgres database, but you'll get similar errors on other databases. So using the standard inner join keyword gives you more control over the columns that are used, especially if they are named differently. The second reason is clarity. When we write code, we want other people to be able to understand it. The inner join keyword and the on clause are pretty widely known, and the using keyword is not so much. This means more people would understand the on keyword compared to the using keyword. Is this a major reason? No, probably not. But we should aim to write code that can be understood by others, and I feel the on keyword is more understandable than the using keyword. Especially as your queries get more complex and you start joining 5 or 6 tables or more in a single query. So what do I recommend? Use the inner join and on keywords for your joins rather than the using keywords. This is because the on keyword is easier for more people to understand and you have more control over your column names. Of course, you may 100% disagree with this and just use the using keywords because it's simpler and works for many cases. Which is perfectly valid, but at least you know the differences now. The using keyword is one of those keywords that you might not have known exists. SQL has many of these little features. You'll want to watch this video next, which is an SQL roadmap that covers beginner level topics all the way to advanced topics, to find a lot more of what SQL can do. Thanks for watching.